Welcome back, everybody. We're here talking about my year-long fast, 363 days of water fasting, dry fasting, and restricted juice fasting. Picking up now where I left off. The last video I covered the first three steps, which are simple. Setting your intention, having that powerful commitment is key. The second one was getting rid of toxic or addictive substances, drugs, alcohol, refined sugars, cigarettes, cake, anything like that. You get rid of those. Once you've done that for about 2 to 4 weeks, you can move into the smoothie phase. In the smoothie phase, you're making fruit or vegetable smoothies, but I recommend that you don't combine your vegetables and your fruits and you're doing these as a meal replacement. You're having fruit smoothies as a meal replacement. And this is going to help detox at the same time as it helps address any mineral deficiencies that you may have. And that's why for that phase, the smoothie phase, it's cool to do supplements, teas, vitamins, all that sort of thing. You're getting yourself real charged up, full of the essential minerals, electrolytes, nutrients, enzymes, all that sort of thing. You're getting all those in. So that's phase 3. The next step, once you're comfortable with smoothies, and you do that for at least a week, or where you're having mostly smoothies and trying to avoid having to eat and swallow, but if you have a dinner or something like that, that's okay. But you're just getting used to where you're not eating and swallowing and getting your nutrients and detoxing before you move into the actual water fasting phase. That's the next phase. So that will be step 4. Step 4 is including 1 to 3 days of water per week, and then doing smoothies and juice the rest of the days of the week. Now, what I did was, by the time that I had reached phase 3, which I did completely on my own, I ran into randomly a person who became my guide during the fast. And this person provided me a routine or a schedule and information that I would use during my fast, that I would use to, for example, he would say, all right, for this first month, you're going to be doing 3 days of water and 4 days of juice. 3 days of water, 4 days of juice. And that's what I did for the first month. I just would drink water Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was juice. And I worked about 2 days a week. So I do recommend that whatever juice day you have is going to coincide with your work day, or maybe even the day before. But what you don't want to do is, what you probably don't want to do is walk into work after not having consumed any juice or any calories whatsoever for about 5 days in a row, or 3 days in a row. If you have the juice that morning or the day before, you actually feel it more that day. But as I said, got to this phase by myself, ran into this person. I was working at a local farmer's market, told this person what I was doing. They said, great, you're on track, you're listening to your guides, but don't stop. Keep going until you can't breathe. Now, at that moment, I didn't have that sort of mentality of numbers and how long I was going to go for. I had a commitment, which I spoke before, was to awaken my Kundalini energy, to raise my awakening level, and to be able to bring a liberation from suffering to all sentient beings. Which is that Buddhist theme of may all sentient beings be free from suffering. That was a big part of my early teen years. And so I brought that into this. Now for you, the commitment can be whatever you want it. This fast that I'm talking about works for health, weight loss, any sort of illness. It can really help. And of course, you do want to check with your physician and all that, and be smart and responsible, but I'm just describing what I did, and if you can somehow apply it to benefit your life, well, go ahead. All right, so we got to phase 4, step 4, which is where you start doing the water fasting. Now, what you want to do is gradually increase the days of water, which is basically what I did. I would get a phone call from my guide, my fasting guide, and he would say, "All right, how are you holding up with the 3 days of water? Is that cool? You're doing good with that? Okay, cool. Now you're gonna do 4 or 5 days. So you're gonna go all the way to Friday without water, and then juice Saturday and Sunday." Click. All right, and that was it. I mean, this person wasn't physically with me most of the time. It was more like just information that I would need to feel confident, so that I didn't, let the mind chatter and the ego fears and those things kind of interfere. Another big part of it, as you're doing these water days, you're gonna want to retain your seed. Now, this is one of the secrets slash advice that not many people talk about, but if you're a man, you're going to want to, first of all, limit social interactions and limit or stop spilling your seed. That means stop ejaculating, stop having orgasms where your semen is leaving your body. You want to retain your semen, and you want to start practicing what's called the mula bandha, which is squeezing the perineum area, the base of the genitals area, and the sit bone area, the coccyx, all that area. You're just squeezing these, and you're pumping it, the semen secretion up the spine. There's a whole lot of information about that sacred secretion. You want to bring it up the spine by pumping and breathing up, pumping these contraction muscles that you have on the seat of your butt, like perineum, base of the, like I just said, and breathing up. Breath work, pranayama, is super powerful in preparing the body and aiding the detox and aiding the energy consumption. Like, you're going to begin to use your own fat cells as an energy source, but also the prana around you as an energy source. So learning how to use the prana around you, or the chi, which the qigong masters use to charge up their dantian, belly dantian down here. Now, when I started this fast, I was about 150 pounds, which is what I am about now. And I show you, this is kind of what I look like now. It's pretty much the same as what I looked like when I started the fast. 150 pounds, and then I made it down to about 103 pounds gradually, probably about 8 months into it. So as you can see, I was consuming a lot of my own, I was metabolizing my own fats, and eventually even some of my own muscle mass, as I gradually trained my body to take in prana directly from either source or from my antenna, which is what the Kundalini Shakti activates, this antenna, brain-body antenna, to be able to receive sort of like a wireless energy source from, could be the trees, the stars, and then also, like I said, from the heart, directly from the source of your divine spark of God within you. Now, I hope this was helpful. This is step 4. Like I said, my routine was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, water. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, juice. The next month after that, I increased it to 5 days water and 2 days juice. A month and a half after that, it became 2 days dry fasting, 3 days water fasting, and 2 days juice fasting. So just to give you an idea that I'm gradually increasing the fast of the water days, and then eventually getting to where I'm doing dry fasting, and then gradually reducing the amount of days that I drink juice. During the days that you drink juice, or at least when I did it, I was limiting the amount of juice that I could drink. So it's not like you're drinking 2 gallons of juice on Saturday, and sort of making up for the calories. You're not thinking about calories, you're thinking about prana, chi, or life force energy, and you're spending most of your time and energy meditating and focusing on that, not so much making juices. The juices that I made were squeezed, or not squeezed, but put through a machine. I had a juicer at home, a very basic juicer, I think it was Jackie Lane juicer, which is a very common, basic one in the market. It was not a fancy one, and I would, because I worked at a produce organic market, I had access to that. But anybody can have access to produce these days, I believe. So yeah, I would just make a juice in the morning. In the morning, I usually started with a fruit juice that wasn't too sugary, and I never really combined vegetables with fruit juices because that can create a clash of enzymes and produce toxins in my belly that I didn't want and give me bloating that I didn't want. So I kept my juicing very simple, always fresh, always made it by myself. Maybe somebody that I know, but not this whole going out. That's not how I did it. How I did it was I was sort of a little bit of a hermit, like semi, just staying home, containing my energy, not exposing myself to very much, not calling attention to myself very much, as I was dropping weight significantly. From, like you see, I don't have a lot of fat, and I didn't when I started the fast either. So when you begin without fat and you do a fast like this, you start to drop the weight fairly rapid. And sometimes people can notice and call attention, and you want to just stay centered, focus back on your commitment, and continue your flow. I hope this was helpful. You're just gradually increasing, and you're increasing the days of water and decreasing the days of juice, and you're also doing the breathing work if you can. Learning about the chakras was very helpful for me. That's one thing that the fasting guide had me do, was learning what's called the Sushumna channel. So there's lots of books on that. There's these two channels that when you breathe, go all the way down on either side of the main column, and you use that breath to bring energy into the system, and then you bring it all the way down to around this area, if you can, lower if you can, to the root chakra, which is Muladhara. When you continue the contraction there, you're breathing in, and then it goes into the Sushumna channel, somewhere around here. It's different for everybody. Just feel it out, and then you bring that prana back up all the way, or that energy back all the way to the head. Using your imagination, your intention, your mind, your imagination is a tool of your mind to become one with this energy and direct it. So it's not, imagination can be, in a sense, real when it is carrying the electromagnetic force, life force, that animates your body. And it does. It sort of blends with it and starts to move it around. Your mind blends with that electromagnetism. And then you're able to learn how to bring more and more of that chi, prana, life force energy directly. Any questions or comments are very appreciated. I will make another video where I describe some of these esoteric practices, if you want to call them Kundalini practices. And I suggest that you just stay in the flow, stay lighthearted, and a state of gratitude, connection, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, and having that faith and trust. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. Many blessings. Be well.